So we are happy to have you here on 80th anniversary of Atheist Center and 11th World Atheist Conference. You are a long associate of Atheism and Atheist Center. So can you brief your association with Atheist Center and its founders, Gora?
Well, for me to come here every time, I feel I come home. Because when I met Gora in 1959, I was bicycling over India. I started bicycling from Madras to Vijayawada, then to Hyderabad and all over India. So I stayed with Gora here for 3 days. At that time there was no building here, the hut was there. So that's how I started association with Gora. I considered and still consider Gora one of the greatest human beings on earth. Why I felt like that was, when I was here for 3 days, one day he told me, come with me to the railway station. So he took me to the Vijayawada station. Grand Trunk Express train came. He took me to the first class compartment. There were 4 people sitting there. The next compartment, the people was like that, crowding. So he held that man's hand and said, you are a big person in this country, rich person, but look at the next coach, how many people are traveling, what a condition. So this injustice should stop in our country. And he did not hesitate to get the top man from the railway compartment to come and this kind of action impressed me very much. That's how I liked Gora very much to start with, 1959. And my atheism as a conviction started when I was in the high school. I saw a book on the street people were selling. I saw the title of the book, Story of My Experiment with Truth. I started, how do you experiment with truth? Truth is truth. If you feel hungry, you're hungry, that's truth. So I bought the book, 2 annas those days. Came home, started reading it. My father saw it. He said, why do you want to spend so much of time on this book? Better read some other book. I started thinking, why my father says this? Because he was in the police of the British. Oh. He retired in 1945. So you can imagine, he served the British police, British government in India as a policeman. So his mindset. So I started thinking, Gandhi, British colonialism, all this is, we need to understand better. And my father, now, he will not be able to understand. So he was not happy, his son reading this book, I kept. So this is how I began to develop my thinking, that why a country like India with so many people, so many possibilities, so much of talent became a slave to the British, a slave to other countries also. Other leaders came here. Why? We are never united. So I considered when we invented God and goddesses, I say man invented gods and goddesses. It is not the gods and goddesses created us. We invented. After that, the human life, human relationship began to be bad. So my atheism started thinking like this.
Oh, very nice. So what exactly you became a conviction that you became atheist when you recognized you are atheist?
Yeah, but my thinking, I started why there should be so much of inequality in society, injustice in society. Injustice is most important everywhere in the world. Why? So the question, why? And then the answer I got myself was, I wanted to see how much I can produce from soil. So I started working 1 hour in the soil. Every morning 8 to 9 I will work in the soil. Make vegetables. 8 vegetable gardens I created, 8 pieces. And every day I could get 2 kilo vegetables from the garden. Then I started thinking, how many peasants all over the world, not only India, all over the world, they spend the whole life creating food for us. but they don't get a proper life. Many farmers in India, why in India last 5 years we committed 4 lakhs of people committed suicide. If farmers commit suicide, can we live in the cities? So I started this questioning way back when I started thinking, 1 hour work, I could produce 2 kilo vegetable. Why there is no justice in farmers, peasants' life? So everywhere I come, oh, we are too much prayer, other word, karma, moksha theory. Oh, this is wrong. So I became an atheist.
Very, very nice and interesting. So, can you brief about your famous peace walk against nuclear weapons? Can you brief about it?
Well, when I was 27 years old, I was in Bangalore. I read a newspaper item. There was a big statement by a very famous world philosopher, Bertrand Russell. You know, the English philosopher, he was put in prison by the British government. Why? He said, he was 91 years old at that time. He said to the British government that you should not make atom bomb. What for? For whose sake? So please reject, renounce atom bomb. And he called it unilateral disarmament by Britain. And the government did not like it. Government arrested him and put in prison. So from the prison, he made a statement to the youth of the world. That statement I read in Bangalore newspaper. I was so thrilled. What he said was, all education, culture, civilization, art, literature, beauty, everything is created by human beings, especially the young people. And today the world is in a mess. So if we want to create a better world, the young people of the world must unite and act differently. It was that statement which thrilled me. I decided, yes, I should do something. Then I wrote a letter to him.
To Bertrand Russell?
Yeah. And the letter reached him after 2 months.
Okay.
By the time he was out of prison. I wrote to Russell that your statement, your call to the youth inspired me. So I am deciding myself to challenge 4 countries of the world which had nuclear bomb. Britain, France, Russia and America. Only 4 countries.
Yes.
I'm talking the 1960.
1960?
Yeah.
It is 1952?
1962.
62, sorry.
Yeah. 61 was the statement of Russell. I started my walk on 62. So,
62.
when I wrote to Russell that now 4 countries have the nuclear bombs. So I want to ask the 4 leaders, why do you want to? I want to protest it. And I need your blessings, I wrote, because your statement inspires me. And I got a reply from him after 3 months. You must act according to conviction. So when I got this letter, imagine signed by him, what a thrill it was. And then I wrote to Nehru. In India, Nehru will be the only person to understand it, I thought. I wrote to him, he also replied to me. So when I got 2 letters from Russell and Nehru, I was on the top of the world.
So
I decided I should walk. Why walk? Because I have no money to go by plane and all that. And I have my health, I have good legs. I can meet people wherever I go, ask the question. So I decided to walk. And the plan was from New Delhi we start. First to Moscow, then to London, then to Paris, then to London, then to Washington. Washington, Kennedy was the president at that time.
Kennedy.
Yeah. So 4 people, Khrushchev, de Gaulle, Macmillan and Kennedy. These 4 people I wanted to meet. So this was the plan I prepared in my mind. Then I thought, oh, walking alone, 1 more person should be, some company is better. 2 people will be company. 3 will be crowd.
Yeah.
So I started talking to my friends. So one friend was in Pune. First person I talked to. A young man, his name is Noshir Bilpodiwala. He was the first person I talked to. Noshir, will you join me? And he replied to me saying, I would be very happy to join, but you know, I am getting married after 3 months. What will my girlfriend say? I'm afraid of that. So he was hesitant. Then there was a Swami in Bangalore called Vishwananda Swami. He said, I want to join you, but my health is not good. Like that, 2-3 people I met and talked, they all hesitated. Then I wrote to Satish Kumar. He was in Bihar at that time. You know, he was a monk at the age of 9.
Nine.
Yeah. At the age of 9, his family devoted him to the monastery, Jain monastery in Rajasthan, in a place called Churu, Rajasthan. And at the age of 9, he became a monk. And when he became 18, he left monkhood.
So how do you know Mr. Satish Kumar and how he is?
I met him in Bihar.
Bihar.
Yeah, that was in 1956.
Oh.
So I thought, this man Satish may be interested. I wrote a letter to him.
You wrote.
Saying that I am planning like this, would you like to join? He said, very good idea, I'll come to Bangalore. He came to Bangalore, we met together, we discussed everything, and he decided to join. So we became.
Wonderful. So how many presidents you met? You met presidents? How many presidents you met?
Well, the plan was 4 places mainly: Moscow, Paris, London, Washington. In Moscow, it took 10 months for us to go from Delhi to Moscow. 10 months. India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Soviet Union.
Okay.
This whole thing,
Yeah.
10 months. When we reached Moscow, the Soviet Prime Minister Khrushchev, he said, why do you want to walk from here to Washington? If America agrees, we will be the first country to disarm nuclear weapons. So take my plane. He offered us a plane to fly to Washington.
Oh.
But we said no, we will not fly. But one thing, we are 2 individual human beings. If you give a letter written signed by you, that if you agree, we will sign nuclear disarmament to Kennedy. The letter should be you write to Kennedy. Then we will carry the letter and go fly. Why should we walk? We don't do waste our time walking. Otherwise we meet people. He will not give a letter. Letter to Kennedy, not to me, you know.
Yes. Yes.
That he will not give. He said, you take our plane and you can fly to Washington to talk to Kennedy. So we are not. So we decided to walk continually from Moscow to Paris. That took 5 months.
Oh.
When we reached Paris, we wanted to meet the president. He was de Gaulle at that time. So we wrote letters, but no reply. And finally, about 16th of August, 1963, that's the date. We left Delhi on 1st of June, 1962.
Yeah.
Made this placard, went to the palace of president, banned the bomb, and France should take initiative. And president did not meet us. 50 policemen came and arrested and put in prison.
So you were imprisoned in France.
We are imprisoned in Paris. Then what we did, we told everybody that we have come to France not to live in prison, but to meet people. President has no time, but people have time. We will meet people. So we stopped eating and drinking. The best thing is to protest. No food, only water. We had a room for 2 beds and huge walls and very powerful light like this. That light itself is a torture. 24 hours the light. We sleep there, we cannot properly sleep, and only water here, nothing else. So we said we will stop eating and drinking. And 4 days we were like this, except water, no food. So the police came, the chief of the police came, and they called the Indian ambassador there at that time, who was Mr. Ali Yavar Jung. Nehru had instructed never interfere. What they are doing, it is their thing. So the president, bodyguard, police called the ambassador. They had a meeting together, and the French government decided to send us back to Delhi by plane.
Oh.
We said we will not go. The ambassador suggested, why do you send to Delhi? They have to go further, no? You send them to England. That was a good thing for them.
Good idea.
So instead of plane to Delhi, they put us in a train at midnight from Paris to
London.
the border of England.
England.
So the next day we were in England. And continued to London. And British government, we did not meet Macmillan, he was not there. But the government was very responsive. They said, if America and Russia agree, we will agree. But they are the two powers. So the answer is that again we continued to walk. And we took a ship from England to New York. But on the day, 22nd November 1964, 63, 22nd November, we got into the ship in England, in Southampton port. The ship started into the Atlantic Ocean, and 1 o'clock, huge dining hall, 4,000 passengers in the ship, We started eating our lunch, and suddenly, radio announcement. President Kennedy is assassinated today. Everybody left. Everybody felt that kind of feeling, the human feeling. I remembered Gora and Gandhi at that time. The human feeling. In that ship, 4,000 passengers, there was no caste, no community, no nationality, nothing. Everybody felt, Kennedy, my man has gone. Everybody stopped eating. That feeling, it's very powerful. And we left, but again, 5 days later we came to New York Harbor and walked to Washington, D.C. By the time Kennedy was not there, Johnson was there. Johnson deputed his military advisor to us to discuss. We discussed. We said, well, if Russia decides, we will join. Russia says, America decides, we will join. That is the from Washington, we traveled across America by bus to talk to students in the universities, 4 months. Then we flew from San Francisco to Tokyo and walked to Hiroshima. Tokyo to Hiroshima was a 3 months. Hiroshima was the last point we walked because Hiroshima was the first city destroyed by atom bomb. So symbolically, we walked to Hiroshima and finished it. So this is the whole story.
Yeah, very interesting and so very adventurous at that time.
Yeah.
There is no proper transport and there is no proper communication. So it is very adventurous.
Yeah, but then we were walking every day. The best communication is direct with people. Direct communication,
So
direct.
your aim is to message people.
Yeah. People used to bring food packets to us on the road. I mean, the human factor was very, very valuable. I remember one incident in Russia. As we were walking, people used to come from villages and all that to see us and talk to us and shake hands with us. So as we were walking, about 11 o'clock in the morning, that good sunshine, good road, a lady from the restaurant came running from there. She had 2 bottles of this grape juice from Georgia. Georgia is a very grape producing country. 2 bottles. She came running from there and she wanted to give it to us. As she came and she just, how to give now? She just dropped it and hugged us. The bottle just fell down. This is the feeling of people.
So got
That
good
power.
Good encouragement from the people. And
Everywhere we get. Even I'll tell you one thing. When I applied for the passport, there was a column. State your caste and religion. I wrote with red pencil, humanity.
oh,
That paper of my passport, till today I don't know where it is. This is our mentality in India. Look at Gora's work at that time.
yeah.
There's opportunity to remember Gora in all these things, Gora fought for this kind of thing when he was a young person. So, because I wrote this humanity, passport was not given. But we left Delhi on 1st of June. 30 days later, we reached Pakistan border. Now we have only 1 more day to go to Pakistan. No passport. And the very next day, somebody came from Delhi, specially sent by government maybe through passports.
Oh,
The application paper, I don't know where it went. But again, the success of our mission. And then same day, even without getting the passport, Pakistan radio announced, visa is granted by radio.
besides,
Pakistan. See, today India, then India and Pakistan, if this kind of a relationship between human beings could exist at that time, today why are we so much against each other? Again, the human mind, our mind is not developing enough to become real human beings. That is where the problem. So 80th anniversary now here, our fight is how to become better human beings, create a better India, and credit goes to Gora and Gandhi.
yeah, very interesting and well said. So, what exactly you have your mission over years after this peace march?
Well, what I feel is militarism and enormous expenses, so much money, human resources are spent to create military weapons, armaments, atom bombs, hydrogen bombs, chemical bombs. For what? So it is basically the inequality in society, exploitation of man by man. That is the reason for all these things. So we should stop that. We should fight against it. Second thing is national boundary. See, this is India, this is Pakistan, this is Russia, this is America. Who created the boundary? We created it. By whom? The people who were eager to acquire property, land, ownership. So human beings developed like that. So exploitation is the basis of all development. So I began to study economics and politics behind it. So two things now. Social equality and economic justice. If these two things are available, we don't need atom bomb and military to fight. And this is not available to human beings. We remember Ambedkar now. Why? Ambedkar fought for justice, equality.
Way back.
Justice and equality was the thing, and he created a constitution for us. But even now, are we really following the constitution? No. Because creating equality and justice is not very easy. When I say justice, it is not like equality, it's not like I eat 4 chapatis, you should eat 4 chapatis, that's not justice. Now, he is sitting there with 3 of you. That is equality. He is with you. We are not saying he is inferior, he does not know, no, he is equal to all of us. But then he will learn in his life, he will grow up, do better than us. So that kind of human justice we need to create. The problem is very, very complex all over the world. These days, I spend a lot of time traveling. Last month, I got a call from China, Chinese authorities in Bombay, whether I could go to China day after tomorrow, 2 days only. I said yes. So on 6th of November, midnight, I flew from Bangalore to Beijing. Next morning, 9:30 or so, we reached Beijing. It was so cold. I forgot to take my woolen clothing, I landed there, very close, but beautiful sunshine. Too close. The car which took me from the airport to the place, the driver, simple, straight human being, mind you, he said to me, "Go, you could feel cold." He took his jacket and gave it to me. Beautiful, red, fluffy, warm jacket. And he insisted I should wear it. Okay, I wore. 3 days, he took me around everywhere. And on the 3rd day when I was leaving, I wanted to give this to him. He will not take it. So he did not take the jacket back. And he said to me, Indians and Chinese together have a big responsibility. We have to create a new human civilization. That is what it is. Well, so, so much economics and politics and sociology are the 3 things. very mixed up in the world.
The world.
And we have to fight at all levels. So 80th anniversary here is basically for human justice, human equality. And Gora spent all his life, the whole family spent their life for this purpose. So we are all together.
Yeah. We are together.
Otherwise we will not be together, no?
Yes, right.
And of course I feel now like whatever I want to do, I did, I continue to do now. But then you have more responsibility than me now for the future. But I feel one thing now. The greatest challenge today in India is we, the citizens of India, okay, all of us, we have elected a new parliament in Delhi only 6 months ago. That parliament has 43% members criminals. What future do we expect from the government of India? With a parliament 43% criminal. What will they do for us? And nobody questions it. So these days, my mind is always on that. The greatest challenge today, criminals sitting in the parliament making laws for the future of India. This is wrong. How to fight it? It's a different question.
So, what is the message you want to pass on to future generations?
Yeah, that's what I will do. Future generation has to be more vigilant than my generation. Future generation is more danger. It is not only atom bomb question. There are so many atom bombs within our life structure. Imagine in a country like India now, children and women are being raped everywhere. We get the newspaper writing. Why? What's wrong with us? In our culture, in our education, in our system, in our relationship, we need to question what's wrong, why are we doing it? So it is self-critical analysis we need to make.
So do you think our education system failed all those things?
I will not say failed, but it is failing.
It is failing.
Because education should be more human-centered. But I often feel, why it is not happening. It's a very important question. For thousands of years, we have been told by our forefathers so many stories. Can we believe all the stories are true? I say no, because I have one experience I'll tell you. 20 years ago, I went to Sri Lanka for a study, anthropological study. So when I went to the museum, I saw a pamphlet written, Ravanaguda. The name Ravanaguda, a village. It was interesting. So I asked the director of the museum, where is this place, Ravanaguda? 400 miles from here, Colombo, in the middle of the forest. I said, I am curious why the Ravanaguda name came. Then he said, that is where Sita was brought from India by Ravana and kept there first. Story. When we were discussing the villages, one girl, 14-year-old girl, this is very important. She got up in the meeting and asked me a question. Sir, you came from India to my village. I want to ask you a question. Why are you Indian? This is a Sri Lankan girl in Ravanaguda village in Sri Lanka in the middle of the forest, 14-year-old. She's asking me, why are you Indians telling lies for thousands of years to your children? I was surprised. I said, I don't tell any lie. Tell me more. Then he said, which child anywhere in the world will believe that there was a man with 10 heads, Ravana, stole Sita, brought her Pushpa Vaibhara to our village. All these stories are lies. I said to her, I am very happy you are my teacher. So from this we have to learn a lesson. We have told lies and lies and lies to many of our people for not now, thousands of years. So that's our culture. shall we be rational, reasonable, humanistic, futuristic, with confidence, love, respect, affection to each other. Then we have a better society. That's what Gora, Gandhi and Lohiya and others have taught us. I'm very happy with that. I can never forget that 14-year-old girl's question, no? She is quite right. So we create temples and mosques and churches and everywhere, but we ignore human life. So in India particularly, I noticed this. We have so much of talent, so much of wealth, and yet our society is so indisciplined. That's what last month I learned from China. In 9 days, I saw in China, everyone so disciplined. Young people and women run the whole country there, in every way. They are smart, they are confident, run everything. And not a single piece of dirt you can see on the road. That is possible. The whole country is glittering. But what is our condition? So I don't make comparison, but still we need to question these things, about our own structure, our philosophy, our education system needs to change. That's our task.
Thank you.
Especially the youth of India today.
Yes.
Our time is going to be very quickly ending, but the young people have a great responsibility.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
మరిన్ని కొత్త వీడియోల కోసం మా ఛానల్కి సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి, క్రింద ఉన్న బెల్ ఐకాన్ని యాక్టివేట్ చేయండి.